Have you gotten out of debt before and then somehow found yourself right back at 30K plus credit card debt again? If that's you, I need you to hear this clearly. You didn't fail. Your plan simply ended at zero balance. This video is the last segment of my series on how to get out of 30K plus credit card debt. And today we're talking about the part nobody likes to admit. Relapse. Getting out of debt once and then sliding right back in. By the end of this video, you're going to have a aha moment. And at this time is different plan. A simple set of rules and guardrails so you're not repeating the 30K plus debt story over and over again. Debt freedom isn't payoff, it's design. First, we have to talk about the shame piece. I hear a lot. I did everything right. I cut back, I hustled, I paid off the credit cards, and then life happened. Now I'm right back where I started. Cut yourself some slack. These days, it's easier than ever to end up back in debt. Costs went up, rent, groceries, kids, healthcare, car notes. Your income didn't keep up or it was unpredictable, and your old debt plan was built on sheer willpower, not a framework. You got out of debt before. That proves this isn't a discipline problem. It's a design problem. Most advice stops at paid off. No one gives you the memo on how to stay debt-free without swiping the card every time life goes sideways. So far in the Credit Debt Escape series, we talked about why your debt plan keeps failing, why the obvious solutions like 0% balance transfers can actually keep you stuck. And I gave you 5 steps to getting out of 30K plus debt the right way. But here's the sneaky reason people relapse. The moment you hit paid in full, the plan just stops. There was never a phase 2. No rules for how you use credit cards going forward, how big your emergency cushion should be before you celebrate, what to do when life punches you in the face again. Initially, you feel rich when that payment disappears, but almost no one asks the real question, where does that freed up money go so I don't recreate the same situation? Let's address those questions so this time actually feels different. I'm going to give you a simple framework with 3 parts. Guardrails before you're out of credit card debt, guardrails right after you pay off a card, and a crisis protocol for when life happens. You don't need to be perfect. You need a system that is sustainable for the long haul. Behavior without structure collapses, but structure changes behavior. First, let's talk about guardrails while you're still in payoff mode. Most people go all in and throw every extra dollar at debt and then swipe the card the second something pops up because they have zero buffer. Here's what I want you to do instead. Build a mini emergency buffer before you go aggressive on credit card debt. That might be $500, $1,000 for some of you. For others, it might be 1 month of essentials. The goal is not a perfect 6-month cushion. The goal is to have something so the next flat tire or house repair doesn't automatically become new debt. Next, set a non-negotiable debt number. This is the realistic amount you'll allocate to debt every month based on your actual income, not your ideal scenario. If you have irregular income, this might be a range instead of a fixed number. Like no matter what, I'll send at least X dollars. In good months, I'll send X plus Y. Now decide your credit card rules. For example, no new financing while I'm in payoff mode unless it's a true emergency. Or I'll keep 1 card for emergencies, but it gets paid in full the next month. These guardrails don't make the journey perfect. They make it survivable. They keep one bad situation from turning into a full relapse. Second, what happens the moment you pay off a credit card? This is where a lot of people slip. You free up a $200 payment and suddenly you feel like you got a raise. Here's the move that keeps this time different. Before you celebrate, pre-decide where that money goes. For example, when I pay off this card, 70% of that old payment goes to the next debt, 20% goes to savings, and 10% goes to guilt-free fun. That way, you still feel the win because you got a little fun money, but you're also accelerating your plan and building a cushion. And don't rush to close that paid off card. I'm not saying to keep every account open, but closing it can hurt your utilization and score. So instead, decide how you're going to use that card in the future. Does it become the tool you keep with strict rules? And you get to decide which credit cards you'll be closing over time. We're not just eliminating balances, we're redesigning your financial operating system. Third, you need a crisis protocol because life will continue to life. Here's what most people do. Something bad happens, they revert back to default mode and swipe. They feel ashamed and then they ghost their own plan for months. Your crisis protocol is the opposite. It might look like this. Pause extra payments, protect essentials. Rent, mortgage, utilities, transportation. That's your first job. Also, use the tools you already have. Check if you can do a temporary hardship plan, lower minimums, or a payment arrangement before you default. Use the mini emergency buffer you created so you're not instantly back on the card. And set a restart date before the crisis ends. For example, in 60 days, I'll go back to my non-negotiable debt number, even if it's smaller at first. Put a reminder in your phone, write it on your calendar. This is how you go on the offense to ensure a bad month doesn't turn into a bad year. And finally, let's talk about what almost no one talks about. And this could be the game changer. What happens after you're completely out of credit card debt? Because if you don't redesign your relationship with credit, you'll recreate the same conditions. Relapse proofing isn't about lack of trust in yourself. It's about establishing non-negotiables with yourself and your credit. So here are 5 non-negotiables. 1, fix monthly fund budget. If you want lifestyle freedom, you pre-assign it. You don't improvise it. 2, auto pay minimums on every active card. Even if you plan to pay in full, this protects your score from human error. 3, 1 primary card, not 5 rotating ones. 1 tool with strict rules. 4, a cooling off rule before any large purchase, 24 to 72 hours minimum. If it still makes sense, then decide. 5, credit is never the emergency plan. Your buffer is. Your card is not your safety net. That's how you use credit intentionally to build capacity, not dependency. So the next time life catches you off guard, you're prepared. Now that you understand how to get out and stay out of credit card debt, the next move is rebuilding and structuring your credit the right way. Because debt freedom without credit strategy leaves capacity on the table. That's where we're going next. See you soon.